Hello, my name's Alana Heim of Prosperity Alignment, and I'm excited to share a lot of information that I gave at the International Human Design Conference back on September 11th. If you missed that, I want to make sure that you have this information because it's really important. There's a lot of energies that are shifting, and they're here to support who you are. Not who the world wants you to be, not who mom and dad think you should be, but who you really are. So we're going to go back and forth into a couple different slides, helping you to see the images, capture the information, write it down. So we have these upcoming transits. This is where we are currently with Neptune sitting in the gate 26. I've listed each of the different planets that are activating individual gates simply because I wanted to give a chronological order of which energies are here to support you right now. And through, if you look down at the bottom, Uranus is actually going to be supporting us through May of 2027. There are a lot of individual gates. I've both circled them on the mandala on the right, and you can see the energies listed here. So the big piece that I want you to recognize is individuality is very, very important for humanity. And we're in a time where individuality has kind of been put aside, cast aside, ostracized. Now is the time for you to really step into understanding who you are. What aspects of individuality are lurking in your chart? I say lurking because they're there and they're hiding, or they've been hidden, or they've been repressed. And now the planets are highly encouraging you, empowering you to step into being who you're meant to be with these individual gates. So looking at the circuitry for individuality, it runs all the way down the middle of the chart on both sides here. So coming down and around. And then we also have this 3410 and the 2551. These are part of the individual circuitry. We've got different aspects. We've got knowingness, we have centering, we have integration. All of these energies are here to support you with your connection to Source Love Light. You have everything you need. You know who you are. Now is the time to really begin to trust. All of these pieces are at play for you. I've highlighted here in the mandala the different activations that will be coming through. So coming back here, stepping into Neptune, sitting in the gate 22, that's an emotional energy off the solar plexus. This really is an energy that we're sitting in currently. It goes through March of next year. We're here to really embrace and surrender to the flow of our emotional energy, the flow of the universe, knowing we are supported, knowing that there is a moody aspect of, do I feel like it or not? There's grace here to be graceful or graceless. And having Neptune be the activator, it's having us look at ourselves in this spiritual way and impact us as we're needing to move forward, not just in the physical plane, but really our connection to Source. The nodes are a huge one. I'm going to go deeper into that in a separate image for you. But what I do want you to know is that right now the 2034 is activated. This is the 34 and this is the 20. This is a manifesting generator channel. This energy is here. It came in, and let's just go pop over here. It came in on September 4th at 12:59 p.m. on Pacific Standard or Pacific Daylight Time. It's going to continue through January 17th. Now that means every baby born has a manifesting generator chart. And I jokingly said this at the conference and just said, you don't really need to run a chart, you just know. MGs are all over. So for 4 months, yes, every baby born, but for 4 months, you are in this energy. And I've been already planting this seed for a while before the energy came in, letting my clients know. I've also been letting my clients know since the energy came forth, because I want them to have the awareness to see what this energy looks like and feels like, sounds like. And I have a financial advisor client who doesn't really know human design. And I was able to share aspects of this channel, and he just knew what I was talking about. And what that means is every human on the planet has a motorized throat, or so it feels like they do. They're being influenced by the energy. They're going to feel that suddenly they have this life force, powerful energy that's coming forth, and they have words, they have things to share, they have this voice. So if they're a reflector, a projector, or a generator that does not have a motorized throat, suddenly 100% of the population will feel like they do. They will be influenced by this energy. This is showing up in classrooms. I've asked my daughter, how have you noticed this energy? And she's said it's so loud and teachers cannot control the kids. And the kids it's like they're yelling, they're just so loud, they're so excited, and the teachers are having to yell over them. And that's just within the classes, right? That's just with kids, and every kid is going to have something to say. They're going to want to share with you who they are and what they're sensing. And they're brilliant because they really are closer to God and have such knowing already in who they are, and they're not locked into the systems like we can be as adults. So now is a great time to pause and let others speak. Let them be heard, especially if they have not always had a defined throat or a motorized throat. Now they're going to want to share and speak and be heard. Now, my client, the financial advisor, he noticed this energy in networking groups, and same thing. They're getting just as loud as the kids are in the classroom. My husband and I were at Taylor's soccer game, and everybody on the sideline, every parent was like, same thing, just having a conversation, almost like they're at a bar, and they were just so loud. So recognizing if you already have a lot of individual circuitry, potentially the individual pieces here, you're going to notice that this particular circuitry, auditory energy, is amplified. So if things are really loud and you're having a hard time hearing, and it's just like it's too much for you, you're going to have to just get away. You might have to retreat like you're aligned to, even if you're not. Just simply give yourself what you need. And if the energy is just too much, you might need to rest more. You might need to get away, have some alone time, go be in nature, go for a walk, receive whatever it is that you need, because this is here through January 17th for 4 months. Now, this is a great time to be moving into action. And the thing with this channel is it's part of integration, meaning just because it is a powerful channel and it can be busy, it still needs to wait for right timing. It still needs to wait to respond to something that shows up. It's the art of having the patience from the gate 20. So the south node sitting in the 34 is activating that busy type energy, and there is power. There's power in the pause, power in waiting, and we want to let go. This node is helping us to realize we have to let go of all of our conceived notions of power and what that looks like, and being forceful and thinking we have to push and put ourselves out there. And we're really moving into the north node where the gate 20 is activated. And this is the pause. This is the patience. This isn't going forth and just moving because we think we have to, but rather we're being very present to the energy, what we need, what's ready to come forth, and timing is so important. We want to make sure that we are productive. We are doing, not just for the sake of doing and keeping ourselves busy and going. We're not that hamster on the wheel. That we're actually going to exit that, and we're going to recognize that there is a dance of somebody coming and inviting you to the dance floor and you responding because it feels correct for you, and then taking action, making it happen, enjoying the dance. We do this with the universe. We are always dancing. And there are times that it feels right and others that it's just not the right timing. It might be a no for now. Honor that. Honor yourself, honor this space, and know that there are some differences in things that will be changing. You'll see that ultimately in these 4 months, we'll still have Pluto in the gate 61. Neptune will still be in the gate 22. We do have a shift from this individual gate of the gate 2, where Uranus will be activating it, moving into the gate 24, which is a different individual gate. Let's see. And I'm trying to remember what those houses were. I know that this is still the 19 moving Jupiter into the gate 13 will still be in this Aquarius house. The 30 for, this was Saturn, and Jupiter is going to be still in the Pisces house, moving from the gate 30 into the 55. So there's definitely a lot of shifts that will happen over these 4 months, but recognizing that the biggest theme here is the 3420, this individual circuitry that's already coming forth. And why that's so important is when we look, as I mentioned, Pluto will still be in the 61. Uranus will be doing many different forward retrograde cycles over the years, but ultimately from now, where it's sitting in the gate 2, it will continue through all of these individual gates through 2027. Now, you'll see that this is circled over here. This is a big deal. This is just something that I've been focusing on. Spirit gave me a while back. Now I understand. Now I understand why these gates were so important and why I ran Courage to Thrive in the Earth activation in the spring, and why I'm currently getting ready to run it in the fall. I run these programs because I've followed the transiting energies. I had this sense that because the spleen is activated, all 7 gates right in a row by the sun in the fall, by the earth in the spring. And it's also been pretty consistent the last few years I've done this. Venus, Mercury, and Mars are also activating in the fall. And so they go from the gate 18, which is the beginning, the first gate of the spleen, all the way through the spleen. And then we activate, let me just pull that back up for you. After we come through here, all of these brown pieces here, this is the spleen. When we get through, we come into the gate 1, which is right off of the identity center. And then we come into the 43, which is part of this ajna. And then we end in the 14. The 14 coming off the sacral, this is the gate of prosperity. So we move from the 18 of realignment into prosperity. This is the forward motion, how the planets usually go counterclockwise. The cool part is the south and north nodes are moving opposite. They are clockwise motion, and they are moving and currently are in the gate 34, meaning they're going to be moving in to the 14, the 43, the 1. They're going to be doing the same cycle. They're going to go through the same gates that I take a deep dive into. And by deep dive, I mean we are looking at the I Ching, we are looking at the human design, we are looking at the gene keys for the activation of the splenic gate. So for example, the 18, we would be looking at all of these different components of where sometimes we feel like we don't know how to realign. Yes, our higher expression is that piece and improving, but we can have this deep fear of imperfection. That's paired with the gate 17, which can be opinions, and it's an ajna gate, and that mind piece really can play into the gate 18. So we're not just looking at that gate, we're looking at the pairing, because if the sun is activating the 18, then the earth is activating the 17, and they're always together. They play together, they work together. It's important to understand that. It's also important to recognize that the other side of the 18 is the gate 58. This is where we can have joy. It's an adrenaline root energy. And if you have it or not, when you can understand what the other side is seeking, the electromagnetic, now you know another way to tap into courage and to pull yourself into a higher vibration than where you might be in the gate 18. I also look at the financial impact, because if your fear of imperfection is coming into play, that can affect your finances and your relationship with money. I give you proclamations. I give you reflection questions. I dive really deep because this isn't just a knowledge-based program. This is an integration program. This is a program where we are also healing the trauma, the wounds, whatever is coming up as we dive into these energies. I want you to be able to decondition and to fully step into your beingness, to be who you are, to be courageous, and to proclaim your prosperity. So there are healing techniques for every gate, and we dive into those. There are live calls, there's healing technique calls, there's things to support you. So it's not just here's some recorded videos, good luck. That's not who I am. That's not how I operate. I give in a really big way and offer as much as I can. For right now, the value of the program is it's the same as 2 private sessions, which is very affordable, and I have a payment plan, no interest, because I don't believe in that part of our systems, and that has to come down. So I'm bringing this up because this is where we're headed with the nodes. As soon as the nodes leave the 3420, right? So at 6:52 p.m., we are officially going to have the nodes shift in to the 8 and the 14. And you'll see that all of a sudden it was just like, oh, I get it. I see why these energies have been so important. Because for the next couple of years, all of 2022, all of 2023, all of 2024, we are going through all of these same energies. So if you don't know anything about any of these gates, Courage to Thrive would be a perfect fit. And you have access to the program and to the videos. And really, the information is going to be the same. There's just a different flavor of what the nodes are going to bring in versus if you learned about these gates in the Earth Activation Program or versus the Sun Activation Program. Each planet brings a different flavor. But you're going to have extensive handouts with all the proclamations, the healing techniques, the reflection questions, all of these things, so that when we get to that point, you're going to have the ability to go and look or feel or understand what's really going on with these gates as they're being activated. And they're not just being activated in you. You're going to be able to see how the activations are playing out on the collective level, how these energies are actually impacting you and everybody else, and how you can move into being more of the observer, that it's not going to feel personal. You're just going to know what's really going on in the world, and it's not going to trigger you. It's not going to hold you back. You're going to continue to step forth knowing that you've got all this individuality that's coming forth, that you have Pluto, Uranus, the nodes, Neptune, all of this individuality that is coming forth almost to compel you to just be who you are. Be the expression of love, of the source love light, the connection, opening yourself up. And I know that this is where we're all headed. And this is how we begin to amplify not only our gifts, but our self-worth. Because if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you're worth. And I want you to know that. because it's not what's in the bank account, and it's not what the systems have created to think this is who you are and what you have is important. Prosperity isn't what you have, it's who you are. So I hope that it's been helpful. I'll just quickly show these again, the upcoming transits, these individual gates, recognizing, yes, we have the nodal activation of the 3420. This is a big deal. We're going to have this for quite some time. So manage your time and your energy wisely. And if there are certain things that you want to take action on, now's the time. Now is such a great time. And that's the gift of when we start going through those nodes and we have all of those courageous gates, is what I call the spleen. When we have those activated, we're actually moving into a position to take action right through the sun. The sun is going to be encouraging you to be courageous, to be bold, to step out there. The empowering knowing gates of the 1, the 43, and the 14, those are highly individual gates, and they're all paired with others, and you're going to get the 4323, and that's huge. Especially when I was looking here, we've got a good 4.5 months. We're going to have the 4323. Like, that's going to be huge when that happens next year. Some of these transits will coincide with the Earth activation program. This one will coincide with the Sun activation program. I will continue to run these programs because I want you to be supported. But just take a look where we're going to be letting go of whatever's on this bottom number. What's in the south node is activating versus what we're moving towards, what we're moving into, these top numbers or the first number here. So all of the splenic gates are actually what we're going to be working on releasing and letting go. And this is why I always teach it as, yes, there's a lower expression, but there's also a higher expression and the higher vibration that wants to come forth. And naturally, when you're just in your prosperity and your flow of following strategy and your type and honoring your authority, it's very easy to already be in that place. What I've noticed is because the external world is so noisy, and not just because of the 3420, but it's noisy because it's almost like it's part of the illusion that's here to keep you off your path and to interrupt you, distract you, whatever it may be. I want you to go inward. I want you to connect and ensure that your chakras are open and flowing so that your source connection is so powerful and is strengthened that it begins to expand. And that's what you're also putting out into the world, spreading your love light and helping others to do the same. So much love to you. See you soon.